The South China Sea is a vital artery for global trade and a lifeline for the Philippines. It provides food, energy, and identity for millions of Filipinos. Beneath its waters lie rich fisheries and untapped oil and gas, resources crucial for the nation's future. For generations, Filipino fishermen have depended on these seas. But now, Chinese vessels are more aggressive than ever, using water cannons, blockades, and intimidation. These are not isolated incidents. They are seen as direct threats to Philippine sovereignty. Years of diplomatic protests have failed to halt China's expansion. The situation has escalated from disputes to daily confrontations. Filipino fishermen are chased from their own waters, and the Coast Guard faces constant harassment. Public anger is rising as these incidents are shared across the country. The government believes international condemnation is no longer enough. Manila is shifting from reliance on allies to a proactive, self-reliant defense. The decision: prepare to defend the nation alone if necessary. Past strategies leaned heavily on the US, but that support hasn't stopped China's advances. Now the Philippines aims to show it has both the will and the means to protect its interests, alone if it must. This is a bold, risky move, driven by urgency and national pride. The nation stands at a crossroads, determined not to lose its maritime rights. The time for decisive action has arrived. Enter the Comprehensive Archipelagic Defense Concept, CADC. This strategy marks a dramatic shift from fighting insurgents on land to defending the seas. The CADC expands the nation's defense perimeter to its entire exclusive economic zone. An attack on a Filipino boat is now an attack on the nation itself. Unlike alliance-based plans, CADC is built on self-reliance. It assumes the Philippines must stand alone in the first moments of any conflict. The goal: make any invasion so costly that China hesitates. The plan leverages the country's 7,600 islands, natural choke points for defense. Anti-ship missiles, drones, and surveillance systems will be deployed on key islands. This creates a defensive web, making it perilous for any hostile navy to operate freely. It's a modern porcupine defense when too prickly to swallow. The focus is on denial, not total control of the sea. CADC is also a political message. The Philippines is taking charge of its own defense. This independence reduces the risk of being drawn into superpower conflicts. The nation gains more control over its destiny, deciding when and how to respond. National pride grows, but so does the burden on a still modernizing military. Success depends on funding, implementation, and unwavering commitment. The CADC is a test of the nation's resolve. To make solo defense real, the Philippines is racing to modernize its military. The centerpiece: BrahMos supersonic cruise missiles, fast, hard to intercept, and a credible deterrent. Missile batteries along the western coast can now threaten hostile ships in Philippine waters. The Navy is acquiring new frigates and corvettes, agile, modern, and built for patrol. The Air Force is getting multi-role fighter jets for both air combat and maritime strikes. The goal: a layered defense, planes, ships, and missiles working in unison. Surveillance drones now monitor vast stretches of the South China Sea, providing real-time intelligence. Upgraded radar and command systems ensure rapid response. Modern warfare is as much about information as firepower. New bases and airfields, especially in Palawan, bring forces closer to potential flashpoints. This overhaul is not just about hardware, it's about readiness and reach. The entire defense posture is shifting toward the sea. It's a massive, costly undertaking, but the threat demands it. The Philippines is determined to be ready, no matter the odds. The stakes have never been higher. Training has transformed. The military now drills for large-scale maritime defense, not just counterinsurgency. Exercises like Archipelago Shield 2025 test the CADC in real-world scenarios. Troops practice repelling amphibious assaults and firing new anti-ship missiles. Reserve units and civilian volunteers in coastal communities are trained for surveillance and guerrilla tactics. The goal: total defense, mobilizing the entire nation. Drills simulate gray zone tactics, economic blockades, and resupply under pressure. Airdrops to the BRP Sierra Madre at 2nd Thomas Shoal are now routine. Training in Palawan and Zambales puts troops in the actual conflict zone. These exercises send a clear message: the Philippines is ready to defend its territory. Live fire drills are both preparation and deterrence. The nation's resolve is on full display. The new drills are the backbone of the solo defense posture. The Solo Defense Plan has ignited fierce debate across the Philippines. Many Filipinos, especially in coastal communities, support the tougher stance driven by pride and frustration. "It is our sea. We must defend it," says a fisherman from Palawan. Years of harassment have hardened public resolve, but anxiety runs deep. Business leaders and politicians warn of economic fallout if China retaliates. China is a top trading partner. Conflict could devastate the economy. Some urge caution. Fearing a war, the Philippines cannot win. Diplomacy, they argue, should remain the first tool. Military experts agree on the need for credible self-defense, but warn the plan is ambitious and costly. The goal is deterrence, not outright victory. By raising the cost of aggression, the Philippines hopes to prevent conflict. Critics worry about escalation and accidental war. Social media is ablaze with debate, but most agree the status quo is untenable. The real question is not whether to act, but how. The nation is divided, yet united in its desire for change. The government's resolve is being tested as never before. The outcome will shape the country's future. The stakes are nothing less than sovereignty itself. The Philippines isn't abandoning its U.S. alliance, but the focus is now on self-reliance. Manila wants the security guarantee, but also independence, no longer a pawn in great power rivalry. The new approach, lead its own defense, keep alliances as backup. CADC is tailored to the Philippines' unique geography and needs. Joint drills with the U.S. continue, but unilateral exercises are now the norm. This signals the ability to fight alone, at least at first. The shift allows Manila to build ties with India, Japan, Australia, and Vietnam, countries wary of China. The goal: a flexible network of partnerships, not dependence on one superpower. This diplomatic balancing act is risky. The U.S. may worry about Manila's commitment. China may see any buildup as provocation. The Philippines must reassure allies and signal to China that its moves are defensive. The new strategy is about autonomy, not isolation. The world is watching how Manila walks this tightrope. China is watching and warning. Beijing dismisses the Philippine buildup as futile, but issues stern cautions against provocation. Chinese state media mocks the modernization, while officials warn Manila not to collude with outsiders. In reality, China is ramping up its own presence. More Coast Guard, more maritime militia, more pressure. Expect more aggressive challenges to Philippine patrols and resupply missions. China may test the new defenses with minor incidents, or use economic leverage to punish Manila. The deployment of BrahMos missiles is seen as a direct threat. China could respond with more warships, electronic warfare, or even an arms race. The goal: intimidate the Philippines into backing down. Beijing wants to maintain dominance and deter any challenge. The real test for CADC will be in this gray zone: constant pressure, not open war. China aims to break Philippine resolve before a shot is fired. The struggle is as much psychological as military. The solo defense gamble carries real dangers, the biggest provoking a conflict with a far stronger China. A small incident could spiral into war, one the Philippines cannot win. Economic retaliation is another threat. China could cripple trade and tourism. Public support could erode if hardship mounts. The CADC is ambitious and expensive. Corruption or political shifts could derail it. If only partially implemented, the plan could leave the country exposed and vulnerable. There's also the risk of alienating the U.S. If trust erodes, help may not come in a crisis. The alliance depends on close coordination. Going it alone could weaken that bond. The Philippines could find itself truly isolated at the worst moment. The risks are high, and the margin for error is slim. Success demands unity, discipline, and sustained commitment. The nation is betting its future on its own resolve. The Philippines' solo war plan opens a new, uncertain chapter in the South China Sea. If successful, it could force China to reconsider aggression and open the door to real dialogue. A credible deterrent commands respect and could stabilize the region, but the buildup could also provoke escalation and an arms race. The risk of accidental conflict rises as both sides increase their presence. The impact will ripple across Southeast Asia. Others may follow Manila's lead. A coalition of middle powers could emerge, reshaping the region's security landscape. The future is unwritten, the stakes are immense. As of December 2025, the Philippines has chosen self-reliance over passivity. Whether this leads to peace or peril depends on leadership, unity, and the response of a powerful neighbor. The world watches, hoping for stability but bracing for storms. The South China Sea's waves now carry the weight of destiny. The next chapter is about to be written,